Ready? Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Louisiana Developmental Disabilities Council Act 378 Subcommittee. We'll go ahead and get started. I'll call the meeting to order. Rakisha, would you mind doing the roll call?
Not a problem. Ms. Hayno?
Here.
Ms. Hayno's here. Ms. Nguyen? Mr. Macaluso? Ms. Stewart?
Here.
Ms. Stewart is here. Mr. Taylor?
Here.
Mr. Taylor's here. Ms. Zhu? You have three, you have a quorum. Well, four, I'm sorry. Four, you have a quorum.
Four with me, right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Rakisha.
Yes, ma'am.
Before we get started, I just want to remind you all of a few rules. For committee members and members of the public attending in person, please raise your hand to speak and wait to be recognized by the chair before speaking. To help the meeting run smoothly, please keep side conversations to a minimum and comments related to the topic we are discussing. For those committee members who are attending virtually, remember you must be on camera and have your first and last name showing to be counted towards a quorum. Please keep your microphones muted unless you are called upon by the chair. Electronically raise your hand to request to speak and wait to be called on by the chair. For attendees, electronically raise your hand to request to speak. Once recognized by the chair, your microphone will be on. Excuse me, after speaking, the microphone will be returned to mute. Also, the Q&A is only to be used by those needing an ADA accommodation to participate in the meeting. Public comment will not be accepted via the Q&A except for those individuals who requested the accommodation. As for order, the committee members in person and virtually will be allowed to speak first. Public members in person will then be called on, followed by public participating virtually who have their hands raised. Comments and Q&A will be addressed last. As for the hybrid meetings, it can be difficult to keep track of all those wanting to speak in person and virtually, so please be patient. All comments and questions from the public may be subject to 2 minutes at the discretion of the chair, so keep that in mind. Depending on time constraints, we may also limit comments to once per issue. All comments about a person's character will not be allowed. Finally, members of the public will have the opportunity to provide public comment before each vote and during designated public comment periods. The chair may also use their discretion to determine if comments will be accepted outside of those times. So everyone should have reviewed the April meeting summary, which is attached in the agenda you received via email, or it's also posted online. And for those in person, there's a copy in the committee packet. We need a motion to adopt the April meeting summary. So we have a motion by Mr. Taylor. We need a second.
I second. This is Brooke Stewart.
Okay, we have a second by Brooke Stewart. Any opposition? Any discussion? Public comment? Okay. So the motion is passed unanimously to approve the minutes. Okay, let's see. I think we have I want to adjust the agenda just for a moment, if you guys would allow. We have, I think, 2 people from Northwest Louisiana Human Service District. If you guys would raise your hand if you're here to speak on behalf of Northwest Louisiana Human Service District. I think Mary might be another person. So Mary, they're gonna promote you to panelist so you can talk.
Okay. I have Veronica Smith with me as well.
Who's that?
Veronica Smith.
Okay. Oh, y'all are together.
Yes, ma'am. We're in the same office.
Okay. I do hear echo, y'all. Okay, you guys, so we're gonna have for those of you who haven't been at the meetings recently, this is gonna be our 3rd time. We're gonna have a human service district to share about what they're doing, kind of the the impact of the funds that are 378 funds. And I spoke to Miss Sharon Dahl, who is the director for Office for Intellectual and Developmental Disabilities at Northwest Human Service District in Region 7, and asked if they could present, and that's why we have Mary and Veronica here to present. One thing that I wanted to note about this Human Service District, for those of you who have been involved, and as we look at the reports later, we'll be able to see that, but they have consistently provided a larger percentage of their funds for the developmental disability services. And so we always kind of compliment, is that correct?
Yes.
We always, and this has been going on for years, we've always complimented them about, and just really, really happy that Human Service District puts so much funding, or such a large percentage of their funding, into developmental disabilities. And so I just want to give them kudos before they speak. And I'll go ahead and turn it over to you guys, and just kind of to share some of the impact that you guys are seeing with the flexible family funds and the individual family support funds.
They'll just have to unmute because it's not letting us bring them over as a panelist. But they should be able to unmute, and Ms. Mary, you should be able to talk at any point.
Good afternoon. Can you all hear me?
Yes, there's an echo though. I don't know if you have a computer and a phone going at the same time.
You know what, I might. Hold on, let me figure it out. Do I have to? Just a second, I'm trying to figure it out.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. I think I'm on twice. I'm trying to figure out how I can close out one without closing them both.
So I think you were able to close out one. And if you're able to unmute whichever one you still have on, hopefully that does it.
Okay, can you all hear me?
Yes, much better.
Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Mary Manuel, and I have Veronica Smith here with me. You are, as far as our flexible family fund, we have 176 individuals that receive it. And of those 176, I think it makes a great impact with them because it helps to offset the cost on things that they may not be able to afford. As far as our flexible family fund, I try to make sure that we do spend up all those funds on individuals who need those services so that they can remain in the home. We do have a success story that we would like to talk about if
Yes,
the
please.
time, ma'am, I'm
Yes,
sorry.
please.
Okay. We have, do you all want a name or just tell the story?
Just the story's fine.
Okay. We have a individual. She was 77 years of age, and she came through systems entry in 2024. She lived with her husband in a smaller town in one of our rural parishes, and she was requesting assistance with a lift. Her husband's health had failed, and he was unable to get her in and out of bed because he was older as well, so he was having difficulty getting her in and out of bed. So when she came through entry, she requested to see what assistance that she could get from us, and we were able to buy her a lift where she's able to get in and out of her bed independently without, causing a strain on her husband. And that the lift was able to ensure her health and safety, and to assist the husband where the lift can go directly raise her up and place her in a wheelchair. And it has helped out a great deal with her and her husband in the home.
Great story. Is that the first time she entered into the DD system? Was that
Yes.
77? Wow.
She came in the system in March of 2024.
Interesting. How did you go about determining that she had a developmental disability? Was that a difficult process, or was that for her, wasn't that difficult?
No, it wasn't that difficult. Someone in the community told her about us, and that's how her husband ended up reaching out to us to see if she would qualify for services under our office.
Okay. But thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Did you have anything else?
Well, I guess I could say that since, she has gone through entry, she has been linked to waiver and she is getting services in the home.
77.
That is amazing, right?
Better late than never.
Yeah,
I'm glad you were able to find her.
that's really great.
I'm glad as well because that lift made a great impact on her and her husband's life. And we hope to continue to have success stories like that, where it shows that the services we provide has an impact on those individuals in our communities.
Thank you very much. Does anybody have any questions for them at it's Northwest Louisiana Human Service District? Anyone have a question for them? Brenton?
I don't have a question, but more of a statement just to kind of go off of what you had said, Bambi. Just the appreciation for your office to always be just constantly putting the needs of the DD community ahead of other needs that I'm sure your community has. Y'all always contributed so much, but just to let folks know, for those of you that are familiar with Act 73, that basically requires the equivalent of a certain percentage of each LGE's state general fund to go to DD services. We had to do that because years ago there was an imbalance in kind of funding, depending on where you were at. It depended on how much money was being prioritized for DD services. And so even before that legislation was passed, Northwest was always contributing excessive amounts compared to others into their DD system. So I just wanted to add that. Also an appreciation before there was laws mandating how much funding would go to DD services. They were constantly prioritizing that population. So just wanted to also give that shout out and thanks.
Thank you.
Hey, well, thank you so much, Mary and Veronica, for coming on. Thank Ms. Sharon. We appreciate you guys sharing these stories adds to this is a very data heavy committee. So this helps to put, real people situations for us to understand what this money is doing to help, the people that we serve, that you guys serve. So
Thank you all.
Okay, so next we'll move on to the Office of Behavioral Health. I think Ms. Marcia Booker is on to report on their fourth quarter data. Marcia, you have the floor.
Hi. Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. This is Marcia. And just going over the report, the expenditures that were reported, some of them may not be at the required 95% because it is due before the invoices were paid off, but they should meet at the year's end. Florida parishes should be at 97% once year-end reports are due, as well as Jefferson Parish. CLHSD and NEDH Northeast Delta have not met their quota. CLHSD reported a number of barriers that resulted in low expenditures, so we're going to request a corrective action plan from them, as well as Northeast, who put in new procedures, and so they didn't meet their spending, and we're going to ask a corrective action plan from them as well under some consumer care resources. We're looking at the flexible family fund. Our LGEs were reportedly meeting their slots. NLHSD reported 90% of their slots filled, but this does not meet the necessary requirements, and we're going to require a cap from them. LGEs Most of them are just under 100%, but they did fill all their slots. And with the supported living, our LGs reported meeting the 95% funding that they needed to meet. And that was it.
Do we have any questions in regards to Office of Behavioral Health, report for consumer care resources and flexible family funds? Not seeing any. Going to move on to the supported living report.
Supported living, our LGE was report expended 95% of their funds. The required 9%, everybody had 100%.
Any questions about, and this is on the back side of the report for those of you who are in the room, the OBH report, supported living. Do we have any questions for them? Okay,
No questions.
okay. I think that's it. Thank you, Marcia.
Thank you.
Next we have Kelly Monroe to provide her report on the Office of Aging and Adult Services, SPA program through the Arc of Louisiana. Kelly?
Hey guys, how's everybody doing? Okay, so let's go over, this is our fourth quarter report. We ended the quarter serving 43 people on the contract. Of those people, we'll go through the demographics kind of quickly. Of those people, 18 of them are African American, 24 of them are Caucasian, and 1 is Hispanic. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry, I'm trying to like work this computer. Okay. 27 of those people were males and 16 were female. In the regions where they're being served, there were 7 people in region 1, 4 in region 2, 2 in region 3, 3 in region 4, 4 in region 5, 2 in region 6, 10 in region 7, 0 in region 8, and 11 in region 9. So well, that's an increase in region 9, but as usual, region 7 is pretty high on where the people are being served. And just because that's where it kind of began in the very beginning. Everybody on the contract received support coordination. 34 of them are receiving personal care assistance. 4 are receiving either utility assistance or rental assistance. 18 of them received some type of medical supply or equipment, and 3 of them had either a home or a vehicle modification. I believe they were home modifications though. So this year we ended a little short. We did not fulfill the entire contract. It looks like we left about close to 10,000 on the table. And mainly that was because there were 6 people this year who have passed away, and where we had to get on board people off of the waiting list, and that takes a little bit of extra time. So unfortunately, there were some people who did pass away, and we tried to get, other people onboarded on time, and we just ran out of time. So currently there are 77 people on the waiting list, where the majority of the people that are waiting are in region 1 and New Orleans. But you'll see the demographics here where there are 17 people. I'm sorry.
I'm not on mute. I'm sorry,
Oh,
Kelly.
that's okay. I thought you was just trying to say, hey, Jim. Okay, so there were 17 people in region 2 that are on the waiting list. There are 9 people in region 3, 7 people in region 4, 2 in region 5, 3 in Region 6, 7 in Region 7, 2 in Region 8 that are waiting, and then 12 in Region 9 who are waiting for services. In there, if you scroll down to page 5, you'll see what they're kind of like looking for. If we were to serve all of these people, 68 of them are looking for personal care assistance, and then 11 is looking for some type of home modification or vehicle modification. But I believe that the majority of them are home modifications, though. And then 1 is looking for dental services, medical equipment and supplies. There are 23 people waiting. Rental assistance, there are 3, and then some type of therapy, there are 4 people. So if we were to serve everybody on this waiting list, we would need approximately $2.1 million with the match. So I don't know exactly what, what that would mean. I want to say it'd probably be about between 500,000 and 700,000 state general funds. And then this was something that you guys had asked for. You wanted to know basically if these people were receiving any other type of service. And so this next chart kind of shows you a little bit about what people are receiving. So there are 2 people receiving LTPCS, and on the next column, it is a number of applicants applied for other services. So there are 12 people who applied for LTPCS, but only 2 of them are currently receiving it. So that's how you kind of read this chart. 51 people applied for the CCW. Nobody applied for the NOW, which doesn't surprise me because most of the people on this contract are adults. Adult onset, although you can have early onset. For the disability, you just have to be an adult to receive this. And then 4 people for THSCI, that should say TBSCI, not TH, so apologize for that. And then nobody from the row, and then nobody also from the supports waiver. So does anybody have any questions or any concerns about the report? Anything I could elaborate on for you?
Kelly, is this the final report for the fiscal year?
Yes, it is. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, question.
Brenton?
Kelly, do you know the budget for this fiscal year that we've just entered into? Is it standstill budget? Do y'all have a little more, a little less? Do you know yet?
It's going to be exactly the same.
Okay.
It's going to be exactly the same. I know that at the ARC, we had talked about advocating for more money for this program, but we have not gone there yet because we haven't had a chance to kind of talk to OAS about it.
Gotcha.
But we'd love to serve more people.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Knowing that we're going into a fiscal only session, I was just thinking of things.
Yeah. It definitely is cheaper to serve people in spas than it is in a waiver. For sure.
Melinda has her hand raised as well.
I'm sorry?
Melinda? Melinda has a question?
Okay.
Hey, Kelly, remind me, is this an income-based program?
It is income-based, but the income is much, much higher. So it's 650 over poverty level.
Okay, thank you.
So you're welcome. This program was really designed to help people continue to work in the community. Anybody else have any questions?
We don't see any other questions, Kelly.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys. Hey, I might go ahead and just sign off if that's okay with you guys. I got some things going on over here that I need to take care of.
Yeah. That's fine.
With a quorum?
But she's not on the committee.
Oh.
I'm not a member.
Hey, Kelly, all this time, I've been thinking you were a member.
I know, yeah. Yep.
I need to fire me as chair. I don't even know who my committee members are.
Yep. Okay, thanks, guys. Have a great week.
This
You
is
too.
ad hoc, I guess people could be appointed.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kelly.
Thanks, Kelly. Now we were gonna hear from the Office for Intellectual and Developmental Disability Supports, OIDD. We have, Bernard Brown, who is here to present these reports. So Bernard, do you wanna?
Sure, sure. So, I guess we're starting with the fourth quarter expenditures
Yes.
for IFS and Flexible Family Fund.
Yes, sir.
All right, so starting with IFS first, you'll see the majority of the LGEs are expending close to 100%. There are a couple of outliers, but those outliers with Metropolitan and Jefferson Parish are tied to their invoicing process. So those funds are obligated, and once those are settled, you'll probably see that reflected on October's report at 100%. That's what we're hoping, but generally we're averaging about 95 to 98% across all the others. The Flexible Family Fund, you'll see the same, well, you actually see a little better, like all of those funds are pretty much expended. And you'll actually see where there is a couple of LGEs who actually moved more money to the Flexible Family Fund to make sure they could cover some of the obligations out of those funds. So they're on target for the end of the year. Going to the compliance report. We want to stop and take questions on that one first.
Yeah, let's ask, is there any questions on the OIDD, IFS funds or flexible family funds? Report.
I don't have a question, but I guess this would go both for OIDD and OBH. I haven't been able to look at previous fourth quarters from other years, but it seems like it's been better as far as
Yeah.
how much they've expended. We haven't seen so many, especially whenever you're looking at IFS and CCR, we haven't seen so many 70s or 60s. And granted, we are, since I guess they do have an opportunity to get these reports in a little bit later than they used to, but I don't know that it makes that dramatic of a change.
Mhm.
But I just feel like this fourth quarter, it seems like things are expended quicker, I guess, if you will. So kudos to the offices for getting that done.
I agree, it does look better this year. Any other questions about this report so far? Okay, Mr. Brown, you can go to the Act 73 compliance report.
All right, so much of the same on that report. You'll see there's a couple of LGEs who are kind of under the threshold for the compliance report. But that's tied to expenditures. Basically, you'll see a couple, which, you know, I think Northwest mentioned this, like their commitment to support developmental disabilities. You'll see some who expended beyond what they were required to expend on these services. So, you know, definitely want to highlight those as well. I don't know what they're spending to get 161%, but I mean, you know, that's worth calling out that they're pouring funds into those services that may have not been budgeted through the Act $378. So, but all in all, you see the total is over 100%. I think it's within the spirit of what the Act 73 requires, as well as if you average it all out, they said the expended percentage should be 9%. I did some math, it's at 10%. So the LGEs across the board are spending 10% of their total budget on developmental disability supports. So again, kudos to the LGEs for putting the money where their mouths are. And that is all.
Do we have any questions about the Act 73 compliance report? Brent?
No questions. I was actually thinking, after Act 73 passed, we saw a lot more LGEs start contributing more than that 9%, which was nice, because I know there was some anxiety, if you will, when we were trying to get Act 73
Mhm.
passed. And then to see so many of them dedicating more than whatever that 9% equivalent is really nice.
When was Act 73 passed?
2017.
Time flies. Okay, any other questions for Nora? For OIDD? I just want to note that,
She has a question.
oh, you do? Go ahead.
I know last time, for our last quarterly meeting, there was some concerns, kind of put out there about support coordination not following up timely with family support, requests and applications. So just kind of wanted to know if you guys were able to speak to support coordination, maybe get timelines in place.
I have no idea what you're talking about. No, I'm just, no, I'm joking. So, yeah, so there are timelines in place, and as I understand it, that those timelines have always been in place. I just want to encourage folks, like, it's important as family and self-advocates to kind of know where you can go if something doesn't jive with you. So I'm saying that to say, if you're not getting the responsiveness from the support coordination agency, especially with Act 378 funds, so especially with IFS and Flexible Family Fund, please go to the LGE. They're the ones who administer those funds. They'll review the applications. So if you're not hearing back timely enough, there's nothing stopping you from going to the LGE and asking, or even trying to see where you are. Because I think part of the complaint that was brought last meeting was that folks' applications weren't even being submitted because they had to be routed through the support coordination agency.
Correct.
We're evaluating that process. I get why it's kind of set up that way, but at the same time, there's nothing stopping the family from going to the LGE directly. And if the LGE says, hey, that's usually routed through your support coordination agency, just tell them I went to them, I haven't heard anything back, so I'm coming to you all. So just so you're clear, just so we're clear on that.
Thank you, Bernard.
Yes, ma'am.
So Bernard, just to, I guess, the way I process it is that the support coordinator should be an advocate for that family. So if I'm a family member and I'm asking something, like I need this funds, flexible family funds from my son. My support coordinator should know our needs and be able to go, if I'm just overwhelmed with my life, I let my support coordinator know that support coordinator should be able to go and be able to advocate effectively to help get my son what he needs. That's what the system I think is intended to be.
Sometimes.
But if it's not, then they have the avenue I could go to.
Yes. Sometimes,
LGE.
like, let's talk like with IFS, let's say if it's, hey, I'm up against it because I had to take off 8 shifts this month to assist my kids, so I might need some help with my light bill, right? Which is within the purview of the Act 378 dollars.
Mm-hmm.
From what I've learned yesterday from Christy is that, to your point, support coordinators, they're not only just tapping Act 378, like they may be researching other resources that instead of running them at the same time, and that's why I say we really need to dive into the process, because instead of pursuing the application through the LGE and looking for alternative resources at the same time, they may be focused on what can I provide them already in the community and help them assist with. So the delay isn't just, I'm saying all that to say the delay may not just be the SC dropping the ball. It may be they are looking for other resources in the community, because that is part of the requirement, right? That you exhaust all community options as well. So to your point, Babby, they probably are doing the job. I'm just saying, as part of being an advocate for your family, it doesn't hurt. And y'all know this, to tap multiple people to make sure the urgency is kind of conveyed.
So, I'm sorry.
Eric?
So the support coordinator is the case manager, right?
Case manager, yeah.
Okay, I got it. So they supposed to help you research, research stuff?
Research what kind of stuff though?
Like, if you need assistance with certain programs and stuff?
Yeah, to an extent, yeah.
So wait. So why the support coordination says you're supposed to go to your providers and not them?
So it depends, right? So in theory, they're supposed to be working in tandem with the provider agency. But some provider agencies provide SIL, which is supported independent living, right?
Right.
And with that service, there are supports in that service that theoretically, I'm not taking up for that, sees that is the right answer in that instance for that person. Like if it's like, hey, my light's about to get turned off and you got SIL, that provider per that service is supposed to be assisted to make sure your bills are paid timely. So yes, the support coordination agency will say like, hey, you might need to tap in with your provider agency because they're dropping the ball or there's some confusion somewhere, right? So to your point, Eric, there might be times where that does happen, but then there's other times where you're right, they may not champion you the way you need to be championed or do the social work component of the case management service that's there, to your point. So they might just say you need to go to Social Security office when you got SIL and they know that SIL is supposed to help you and make sure you get all of that stuff squared away also.
So, and baby, I'm not gonna hold it long, cause y'all done woke me up. My thing is, why the providers don't want you to talk to your support coordinator? Let me explain myself. They say it's not for you to talk to them. We only supposed to have connection to them and not you. And I'm gonna say this. I spoke up and say, I want to talk to both. I don't want to speak to one, I want to talk to both. So it's a wishy-washy split thing. It's like, you're not supposed to talk to them. That's our connection to talk to them.
All right, Eric, you're not gonna get me worked up in there, man, but listen, all of them work to support you. So they shouldn't be telling you what you can and can't do. All right, you know, so if that's happening, bro, we might need to have a separate conversation. I ain't trying to get nobody in trouble, cause a lot of it is, you know.
And I'm not trying to get nobody in trouble, but my thing is, it's a lot of loopholes.
You think?
That ain't being told. And I'm being serious.
Yeah.
Cause I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm gonna say this. Like you sitting on this board, and you in here talking. A lot of us will get snatched out of here. Wait a minute, you got too strong a connection. If you understand what I'm saying.
I don't, man, and I'm not happy at what you're telling me, because this is concerning. So,
all right.
Yeah, it's concerning, man. But I get what you're saying, and then they don't have that control over you like that. And I know it happens sometimes, in some instances, and some of the motivation behind it may just be looking out for your best interests. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, Eric, like that's not supposed to be happening, bro. At all.
I don't upset you, okay?
I'm good.
I hear you, but I'm just saying, and I ain't scared to say, and I'll repeat it again. It's a lot of loopholes between y'all and.
Yeah, well, to your point, man, I can't address anything if people don't speak up. So I appreciate you sharing this, because that's concerning. You know, if you're being told not to.
But I'm just saying, it's just like Bambi over there and I'm right here. And the loophole that pull away. That's for us to keep you a loophole away because you explaining it. But then they got a whole nother book that they done made up in their mind.
Well, here's the other part, Eric, like the system, and I don't want to go through the whole long
I understand.
story about how things supposed to work. There's oversight things in place to make sure people are healthy and safe and not being exploited. Because what you're talking about is bordering exploitation. So that's concerning. So That's why you're supposed to, that's, you know, when that support coordination agencies of people complain about families too, having a support coordinator in their home quarterly, right? Because it used to be monthly. You know, so that's why they had to be in your home every month for things like this, to make sure things, that's why they did pop-up visits. That's why providers are required to come pop in on their workers periodically. That's why, because the system is designed a specific way, and those things like in-home visits and pop-up visits and monitoring, like those things are in place to assure that stuff like this isn't happening. And that the services as they're designed are being provided that way, not, oh, I get off at 3 o'clock, so we gotta go from your event, cause I get off. See what I'm saying? That's not how it goes. That's not person-centered, and that's not pulling you out of the community for convenience for them. Is not how the services are designed. So E, I'm serious, man. If you not you, but if you know people who are experiencing that, like, let me know. Because it may just be as simple as just a conversation, just letting folks know how the services are supposed to be provided. It's not getting nobody in trouble. It's just knowing, making sure they're clear on it. Cool, I got you. All right, my brother. As you know, Bambi called me every week. I'll give people my phone number.
I'm not doing that again. I'm not gonna do that again.
Stop it. Nah, that's it. Any other questions? I'm sorry for that, y'all.
No, I think, to Eric's point, one thing that I have found of being a part of like this council particularly is that our people that are like at the state agencies, like Bernard or historically whoever's been in his role, or the other state agencies, to me, they've always had like the best idea, the ideals that they want to put in place or what we aspire to. But sometimes the details, by the time it gets down to the provider, sometimes it's just these policies and procedures and them going through the motions, and this is how we do something. And those people that are the supervisors or the direct support workers, they aren't hearing our conversations about what's, person-centered planning, that type of thing. They're following this document that says this, this, and this, and this is when we have to do this and how we have to do this and who you're supposed to talk to. Oh, our clients never talk to the support coordinator, and they just think that's the way it's supposed to be.
And we can run this is our company, so this is what we doing.
Yeah,
We not other companies. This is how we run this.
yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, man.
And so that's why you, as an advocate, you know better. So now that's the way I always done. Once I know better, then I advocate for, when I know something's not right, then you advocate to try and make it better for yourself or for other people as well. Thank you, Eric, very much for that. I just want to note that Herman Bigner was the person from OIDD that was on this committee, and he's retiring this week. Tomorrow. So Herman retired and then retired again and has served many, many years. So just wanted to let you guys know that. So we wish him the best.
We have a question.
We have a question.
Melinda has.
Melinda, Elliot?
It was another mistake. She raised her hand by mistake.
It was more of a comment than a statement. That's always been the pleasure about the DD Council, and the charm of the DD Council is that real people with disabilities were on the council and could talk to how it's working on the ground floor as compared to how people maybe higher up in the system know it's supposed to work. Not always the same as how it's working on the ground floor, but that's the wonderful thing about the DD Council.
Melinda, thank you for that. Any other questions or comments about the OIDD report? Okay, thank you, Bernard. So any announcements or public comment? I will say that, after this meeting, our Education and Employment Committee will meet starting at 4:15. Also tomorrow is the full council meeting, which will start at 10 a.m. It will be in the same room or on the Zoom link. So those of you who have registered to participate virtually should have the links, to the meeting in your email. Does anyone on the committee have any other announcements to make? Or anyone in the room have any announcements to make? Seeing none, let's see, do we have anyone wishing to share public comment? Here. Okay. All right, so I hereby adjourn this meeting at 3:37.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, guys.